Welcome back to Outside Views. Today we tackle a critical and controversial issue, the United Kingdom's post-Brexit border system, widely described as the most expensive and least efficient in the world. And this issue goes far beyond mere inconvenience. It's become a significant economic burden that affects businesses and consumers alike, underscoring a profound failure of government planning and communication. Back in 2020, Brexit was sold to the British public as an opportunity to regain control of their borders and create the world's most effective border by 2025. And now, 5 years on, it's clear this goal is far from being met. Instead, experts describe the UK's current border management as severely inefficient, costly, and riddled with communication failures from the governments. Nigel Jenney, the chief executive of the Fresh Produce Consortium, didn't mince his words in front of the Environment, Food and Rural Affairs Committee recently. He bluntly called the UK's border system the most expensive and least efficient globally, pointing out that the situation is a self-imposed crisis creating huge distress and significant additional costs. And this isn't just a bureaucratic headache. The costs are ultimately passed down to consumers, exacerbating the cost of living crisis that's already impacting households across Britain. And it's not just fresh produce being impacted. Small and medium-sized enterprises, the so-called SMEs, which form the backbone of the British economy, have been hit particularly hard. According to industry reports, SMEs now face average additional costs of £14,000 per 100 consignments just due to the common usage charge fees. This totals around £200 million annually for the industry. And Nicola Mellon from Logistics UK highlights the urgent plight of SMEs, stressing that many can no longer absorb these spiraling costs. The groupage model, critical for smaller businesses to pool resources and share logistics expenses, is increasingly becoming unviable. Every hour of waiting at the border adds an extra £50 to £60 in costs, causing European logistics companies to reconsider their operations entirely within the UK. And communication has also proven to be a chronic problem. Jenny specifically pointed out the severe lack of responsiveness from the UK government. Businesses have raised serious concerns for years, only to find their questions repeatedly ignored. The lack of clear and timely information from the Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, the DEFRA, has left drivers, logistic firms and exporters in the dark, severely hampering sector growth and making strategic planning virtually impossible. Moreover, the centralization of inspections at the Savington border control post is creating bottlenecks that harm regional economies. Jenny highlighted how Savington monopolizes inspections, leaving regional facilities underused and significantly increasing transportation costs and logistical inefficiencies. Considering that the UK imports around 65% of its fresh produce and 80% of flowers, getting border operations right isn't just about efficiency. It's critical for ensuring the ongoing availability of essential goods at reasonable prices. Yet, despite substantial investments from industry players, DEFRA has yet to authorize around-the-clock inspection resources. Industry experts strongly argue that allowing responsible businesses to conduct their inspections at regional control points would greatly reduce costs and improve efficiency. As Jenny said clearly, we have offered regional control point inspection facilities for a least cost solution. Our track record demonstrates we can self-manage effectively. And these failures also threaten biosecurity, ironically one of the key justifications used to promote Brexit in the first place. According to Sally Cullimore from the Horticultural Trade Association, the current system simply doesn't work, even as the industry demonstrates exceptional commitment to biosecurity. Indeed, exporting fresh produce from the UK to Europe has become nearly impossible, undermining entire sectors and threatening countless jobs. And the broader economic implications are alarming. According to the Food and Drink Federation, Britain's agricultural exports to the EU have plummeted by over 1/3 since Brexit. Other European nations have managed to grow their agricultural exports during the same period, proving that the UK's decline is directly attributable to post-Brexit border inefficiencies? And while imports into the UK from the EU have increased slightly, British exports are severely hampered by stringent and unevenly applied checks. And this growing imbalance is leading to record trade deficits, placing enormous economic strain on Britain's food and drink sector. The FDF has repeatedly called for a strategic rethink, urging the government to work with the EU to simplify health and safety measures and reduce bureaucracy. And Balwinder Doot, the director at the FDF, stresses that the EU remains Britain's most important trading partner, accounting for nearly 2/3 of its food exports. Yet, despite repeated warnings from industry leaders, the government continues to push forward with complex and costly border checks, seemingly indifferent to the escalating economic damage. Internationally, Britain's post-Brexit struggles are damaging its reputation. While countries like the USA and even Turkey have increased their imports of British goods, the overall picture remains bleak. High border costs and inefficiencies mean fewer exports, less business confidence, and diminished international competitiveness. And this self-inflicted harm contrasts sharply with promises made during the Brexit referendum, highlighting the stark difference between political rhetoric and economic reality. And public discontent is growing too. Protests and demonstrations have erupted nationwide with slogans like "welfare, not warfare," highlighting public anger at government priorities. As the government pours additional billions into defense spending, social programs face severe cuts, and border costs soar, fueling the public perception of an administration disconnected from the real struggles faced by ordinary citizens. And this crisis is indicative of deeper issues. Brexit was presented as a chance to simplify trade and reclaim sovereignty, and yet today, British businesses face a complex web of red tape and rising expenses, precisely the opposite of what was promised. The economic reality has forced many businesses to close or relocate operations, causing job losses and weakening local economies. And at the heart of this issue is a fundamental misalignment between political promises and practical execution. Brexit leaders assured businesses and citizens alike that border operations would be smooth, efficient, and cost-effective. Instead, the UK's current border management stands as an example of costly inefficiency and bureaucratic failure. It's essential for the UK government to acknowledge these problems openly and commit to genuine solutions. Immediate steps must include streamlining border processes, decentralizing inspection facilities, and significantly improving communication with affected industries. Without meaningful action, Britain's border issues risk becoming a permanent obstacle to economic recovery and growth. And that's it for today's little dive into Britain's border crisis post-Brexit. Thank you for watching Outside Views, and if you found this informative, please like, subscribe, and of course, share your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you next time on Outside Views.